She's a killer queen, gunpowder gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. I'll take you to the seven seas around. All we hear is radio Gaga, radio Goo Goo, radio Gaga. Another one bites the dust. Crazy little thing called love. Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let him go. Need somebody to love, love, love like us. Ah, he's a miracle. I've got to break free. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world.
Some of the great hits from Queen that have kept the band at the top for over 18 years. And with me here in the studio are the four members of the band, Brian May, Freddie Mercury, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon, who've just released their 16th album, The Miracle. Good to have you here, chaps. The first time you've all been publicly together since August 1986. That was when you did your last gig at Nebworth. And Brian, did you actually break up after that gig, or did you just drift apart?
No, we didn't split up at all. In fact, we just said we want to rest. Because for the last 15 years, we've been racing around the world and then coming back and making an album and racing around the world again. So we thought we'd just take a break, but still exist as a band, really.
Did you decide that before Nebworth, Brian, or did you decide after the gig?
I think during that tour we thought we decided that. Is that right?
Yeah.
If I can remember back that far.
No, we just sort of thought it was a natural sort of flow, really. It was a very big tour, and it was very successful, and it was a natural sort of comma. So we rested, really, for a while, because we thought after this, well, let's take a rest. And it was a sort of unspoken agreement, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So, Freddie, the album, A Kind of Magic, did you think at the time we've gone as far as we can go for a while?
When we were actually doing the sort of Magic tour, I mean, I had no inclination that I was going to do a solo sort of project with Montserrat. But I did have in the back of my mind that I wanted to do something by myself. So did the other lads. It was just a breather, and to do some things that we wanted to do without each other. But it wasn't a split. I think we know each other quite instinctively now after all these years. And there wasn't anything like, oh, I want to go and further my career without you. It wasn't that sort of thing. We've been together now 18 years, I would say. If egos came into it, they would have done that a long time ago, and we would have gone our separate ways and all that. I think it's just, after a while, we get bored with each other, and then sort of we need
a bit of space.
We need a bit of space.
I think we learn to give each other our space, which helps, which keeps the balance of the band, because it's very hard to stay together all that time, really. In fact, that's the number one trick, in a way. It's the secret. If you do stay together and you can still use each other's talents, but at the same time give each other some space to be individuals, I think that's the secret.
John, are you in sort of musical harmony, the four of you? Do you all think the same?
No,
or
not at all, no. Yeah? No, we all have different ideas. We bounce off each other in the studio, don't we? I mean, all different ideas.
Each other on the walls.
We bounce each other on.
No, very different, you know. So that's what makes it interesting, I think.
What have you been doing over the last couple of years, John?
Not a lot, really. A couple of videos for Maurice Minor and the Majors, and that's about it.
Had a big hit.
Yeah, one of them was, yeah. Stutter Rat one did well for them, yeah.
Brian, you've been working with Anita Dobson.
Yes.
A lady with a good voice. I mean, people obviously know her through EastEnders, and then thought, hey, is Brian May a musician working with her? But she is a good singer there.
Yeah, I've done a lot of things which people have raised eyebrows about, I'm afraid, but I've believed in all of them. Yeah, I did Anita's album, which I think is very good, very musically good, and I'd produced the Bad News album, which I thought was very significant in its way. And I've played with a lot of people, which previously I didn't have the time to do, because Queen's been a very closed unit over the years. So I found myself, playing with Black Sabbath and jamming around with Def Leppard and people like that, which I've really enjoyed. But for the time being, my opinion is that I shouldn't be a producer. I've done a lot of producing, but I'd prefer to play. When the group started to make the album again, it's nice to be back part of that team. There's definitely a good feeling about it, and there's a lot of... We do have very different ideas, but there is a balance, and we argue and all that stuff. But
Do you still experiment with guitar sounds? I remember a few years ago doing a TV show with you, and you were playing with different coins to get cello sounds on your guitar. Do you still do that?
Yes, but I still use the basic guitar setup. I'm not heavily into guitar synthesizers and all that stuff, the modern technology. We're into technology in the way that we put it on tape, but I like the way the guitar sounds, and I suppose I'm more into the natural guitar sounds than I was in the past.
While you've been doing that, Roger's been working very closely with The Cross, with your band The Cross.
Yeah, so that was really when we decided to take a bit of a pause. I thought I'd like to get involved with another band, but in a different capacity. So I'm the sort of singer of The Cross. And of course, always, Queen does take priority over everything, which is why it was nice to get back in the studio again and make an album.
I was just the opening track on the album, Party and Khashoggi's Ship, is rather unusual. And where did the whole concept of that come from?
I think I was having a skiing holiday at the time, actually.
That's where it came from.
And I came back, and they had the ideas. I think Khashoggi's, we were all there, weren't we? But Party arose when I wasn't actually around.
We felt that we really wanted to, and I remember, in fact, the Party and Khashoggi's Ship is something that we just came into the studio and things just evolved naturally, straight away. So we were hungry for it.
We had a good night.